You're feeling stressed or overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you've got, and you're looking for a way to declutter, to own less things and live more of a simple life. In this video, I'm going to go over minimalism for beginners, why it's changed my life, and also I'm going to give you lots of tips on how you can start minimalism, and we'll go through the reasons why that will benefit your well-being, your mental health and your stress levels, and how it can help to really make your life so much easier. I'm 41, I'm also a mum to 4 children and a dog, and 2 years ago I started to declutter my home, and over the 2 years I've reduced the stuff in my home by up to 80%. So I've still got a little way to go, but I've made a massive difference and it's really changed my life. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, because I want to help you in the way that minimalism has helped me through decluttering and organizing my home. It's honestly made my life so much easier. I've got less things to look after, less things to clean and tidy away and put away. I've also got so much more space to actually live in. It's freed up my mental capacity because I've not got loads of clutter to look at, and it's nice for my kids because they've got more room to play now as well. So if you're someone who wants to start minimalism because you're feeling a bit too overwhelmed by the amount of things that you've got, I definitely recommend it. And don't worry, you don't have to do this all in one day or even all in the same month. And on this channel I talk about all things decluttering, organizing, and about my lifestyle as well, because I'm 41 and I like to share my journey through minimalism in easy steps because it has been a slow process. Minimalists use a lot of decluttering and organization skills to make their lives a lot easier, and also to have less decisions to make as well on a day-to-day basis. To better understand the lifestyle of a minimalist, here are some examples of what a minimalist might look like. So you might live in a small home and you need to cut down on the amount of things that you have because you've got less storage and less space, and by having less things in your home you're going to have more room and less clutter to look at. You're also going to have less things to put away and find homes for as well. You might be really careful with your budgeting, save money, invest money so that you've got more financial freedom in the future. This is something that I live by now, and that is prioritizing experiences and fun over material objects. So it means sacrificing buying a new bag or a new makeup item and saving that money towards going out and having fun or taking my kids somewhere instead. You might want to reduce the amount of time that you spend on social media or on your phone or watching TV, and spend that time doing more free activities instead, like going for a walk or going for a picnic, or maybe starting a new sport or going to the gym, or maybe it could be going out with your friends or just having time to yourself and having a bath. And this is something that I'm doing at the moment. I'm watching much less TV than I used to. You might be someone who likes to use reusable products. For instance, you might be a bit more eco-friendly, you might like to recycle and look after the planet more, but you also might be someone like myself who likes to buy like non-toxic ingredients, like for instance skincare, makeup. You might prefer to buy second-hand clothes to help the planet out and also to save money. This is something that I do a lot of as well. I'm obsessed with vintage. You also might want to be, or are already, a really organized person to avoid things like decision making and burnout, and also to free up your time more as well. So having good organization skills is also something that is tied in with minimalism. This is something that I've worked really hard on. I've got a really organized home. I also stick to quite strict routines with my housework, and on my journey to minimalism I've really learned about and practiced having more habits in my life, because it trains my mind to just do things automatically, so it frees up my mental capacity for other things. There are quite a few benefits to minimalism. And starting a journey to minimalism requires quite a few things like patience, flexibility, and also the willpower and motivation to get started in the first place. But honestly, once you've got those things in place and once you get the ball rolling and get started, I guarantee you will not want to stop, because you'll see so many benefits with your mental health, your well-being, time and energy. The reason why I got started with minimalism is because I wanted to have less stress. Messy spaces are not just an absolute nightmare to look after, but there's also been studies done in psychology that prove that too much stuff overloads our brains and our mental capacity and then triggers the stress hormone cortisol, which is obviously not good for our bodies or our mental well-being either. So by keeping a clutter-free space in our homes, it really helps to support better mental and physical health. Having too much things as well can really affect your relationships, whether this be with your colleagues at work, your friends or your family. And I know this sounds a bit silly, but hear me out. So think about the mornings when you're getting ready for work, you're on time, you're just about to leave the house, and then you can't find your keys, you can't find your phone, shoes, you're rushing around the house trying to find these things, and it is taking away the time that you need to be leaving the house. So you might leave the house 10 minutes later than you planned to because you were searching for those items, because you've got too many things and you literally can't find these things at all. And then you show up late to work, you might be a little bit sweaty, you might be really stressed, you might be snappy with people, and that can affect the way that you interact with your colleagues at work. Also think about the times when you've needed to get somewhere, for instance, a birthday party, or maybe you're meeting a friend for food and you need to be there at a certain time. Now, come on, I've been there so many times. I am known as the late person and I'm really trying hard to work on this, but having less stuff honestly makes my life so much easier. I've got a little hook on my wall now where I hang my keys, so I always know where my keys are. I also keep my phone in my drawer upstairs, so I always know where it is. Because I've got less stuff as well, I'm not having to move things or pick up stuff to have a look underneath things to find those items that I need. So I can just leave the house when I want because it's all there easily for me to find, and it means that I get to places on time. Well, most of the time. And I think my family will argue against me there. Having lots of items around you as well really makes your brain work harder than it needs to. Because if you've got loads of things around you, your brain is always overstimulated processing those things around you, and your brain is working harder to filter those things out so it can focus on the other things and the other important things that you have to do. There's been research done in science that proves that this can make you really tired. So if you're constantly having to look at things, for instance, if you're trying to watch the telly in the evening or try to read a book, and then you've got loads of things around you, your brain is just constantly looking at those things and just working overtime. So having less things can definitely help to free up your mental load. It definitely has with me, and honestly it's made such a difference. I've got so much more energy, and sometimes I think, why have I got so much more energy? Because a few years ago, I always felt tired and I did wonder why. And do you know what? Since starting minimalism and getting rid of most of the things in my home, I've got so much more energy now. And I do think that that plays a part in giving me more energy and making me feel less tired as well, because my brain is working less to see those items in my home. You can also feel a lot happier through minimalism. You're not constantly chasing something bigger and better. I used to be a real shopaholic, and I always thought that that new dress or that new makeup item or that new gadget would make my life happier. And honestly, once I got it, it really didn't. So materialistic people do look at their possessions as a way of making them happier, whereas minimalists look at the things that they've got and appreciate what they have already. It can also help your finances, and I'll explain why. With a lot of things that I've decluttered, I've sold them and I've been able to invest that money, which gains interest, so it will help me in the future. I've also been able to do more experiences. So last year I did nothing fun. I didn't go on holiday. I didn't go out. I hardly went out of the house at all. So I decided through decluttering, I was going to sell those things so that I could put it towards more fun things for me and my family to do. And honestly, we've been so many places this year. It's been fab just to have less things, but use that money instead to have more experiences and spend more time with the people that I love. So I had a small holiday in the UK recently with the kids and we had so much fun. So by decluttering and selling the things that you don't use or don't need, it can really help you to save money. So if you've got debt to pay off, or if you're really struggling for paying for food or bills, or you just want to save towards something in the future, it can really help you there with your finances. Now I'm going to go over some tips on how to be a minimalist. This doesn't have to happen straight away, okay? You don't have to do this all in one go. It is a slow process. And with me, it has been baby steps, but I've got to a point now where I'm really happy with the way my home is. I've still got a little bit to declutter, like I said, but I'm not totally overwhelmed thinking, I need to get this done and I need to get that done and I need to get rid of those things, which was what was happening a few years ago. Now I've got to a point where I'm really happy and I'm not spending time constantly decluttering. If there's a little drawer or a little cupboard now and again, and I just think I'm just going to reduce that a little bit, I can do that, but I'm not totally overwhelmed with not knowing where to start. I've decluttered a huge amount of my home already, so you don't have to start big and you do not have to spend hours to begin with. Honestly, it is not like that with minimalism. It will take time, but honestly, you will reap the benefits. I have. The first thing I want you to do is figure out your priorities. Why do you want to start minimalism? What are the biggest benefits that you're going to get out of starting minimalism? My journey with minimalism could be different to yours. Do you want to have a more organized home? Do you want to reduce the amount of things that are in your home so you have less to look after? Do you want to spend more time with the people that you love, having more bonding experiences and have more fun? Or do you want to have a better financial situation? Now, all these can go hand in hand. So these are all things that are rolled up in a ball in my life. All these have come together for me. It is best to have a think why you particularly want to start minimalism and what is the top priority for you, because it really will give you the motivation to get started in the first place. Don't overdo it all in one go because you'll start to become exhausted and unmotivated as well. Also, appreciate what you already have. Don't let social media or outside influences like ads encourage you to buy things that you don't need, because we are constantly bombarded with the temptation to buy things, and it is a really easy thing because let me tell you, me and Amazon have got a love-hate relationship because I just impulse purchased so many things that I just didn't need and never used as well. This is a massive tip from me, and this is how I keep my home tidy, and that is to declutter on a regular basis. You don't have to do this every day. It might only be on a weekend or maybe a weekday if you've got some time. Just try to pick one day a week at least to declutter something in your home. Well, the way that I do it is just by having a little bit of an energy boost, getting started and getting the ball rolling, and just having a little bit of motivation to get started on one area of my home. You're going to make sure that you're keeping up with the amount of things that are in your home, because obviously we go and buy things, don't we? And then we accumulate more stuff. By getting rid of things constantly in your home, you're going to make sure that you've not got too much stuff, and it's just a really manageable way of keeping the stuff down in your home. The next one is another massive one in my home, and that is to get organized in your home. You can organize your spaces in your home with clever storage boxes, containers, baskets, and having a dedicated space for everything that you own as well. This will stop the clutter from accumulating on the flat surfaces in your home and also the floor as well. And you'll also know where everything is so you can find it easily. This one's a new one for me, but it's definitely made a massive difference to my life. And that is by having a capsule wardrobe or a more minimal wardrobe. For the last year, I've been decluttering my clothes, and the last couple of months I decided to have a capsule wardrobe or a more minimalist wardrobe. I haven't got a complete capsule wardrobe, but it's definitely a massive start to having a capsule wardrobe, and it's made a huge difference to the way that I get dressed. It's given me less choice to pick clothes. It's also helped me to realize what clothes suit me, what clothes don't suit me, what clothes fit me, what clothes don't. And I can also mix and match my items together now, so I've got more outfits, and it is amazing. Honestly, it's just given me so much freedom. I know it sounds a bit silly, but just having less choice and also being able to own more quality clothing has just made a big difference to me. And I've made 2 videos on this channel, so I'll link them both down below. I think you'll find them really helpful. Another good way to practice minimalism is to decrease your screen time. This might be in the form of not scrolling social media. Facebook's really bad for that. I cut down on scrolling Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook because I was just so sick of looking at everyone's bullshit lives, because a lot of things that you see on these social media platforms are not real, they are staged. And it took me a really long time to actually realize that. So that's why I like to keep things really real on this channel. I do speak from the heart, and I also like to put a lot of truth into what I'm saying as well. I like to be really genuine because that's just my personality. I get really guilty from lying, so I don't like to lie about things on this channel. I like to just tell you my real experiences and what I do in my life as well, just to share that with you. Use your time and your money to invest in experiences over material objects. Being a minimalist doesn't mean that you have to skimp out on life and have less fun. You don't need to have a boring lifestyle to be a minimalist, and this is definitely something that's changed completely. I have much less of a boring lifestyle now that I've adapted a more minimal lifestyle. It really helps to spend your time and your energy with more intention, spending more time doing things that you like doing. Maybe you've got a hobby or you want to start a new hobby, and by spending more time with loved ones, this can really enrich your life in a way that is much more fulfilling than having materials, because materials don't really make us happy. It is spending time with loved ones and doing things for yourself that make you happy. And this can make life so much more meaningful. It definitely has helped me massively in this sense. Using self-reflection and gratitude can really stop you from the impulse purchasing. This is something that I've had to work on, and it really has helped me. Think about what's important to you. Sit on purchases for at least a day, if not more, like a week or 30 days. If you've got that urge to buy something, you can always put it in your basket, but then sit on that purchase, sleep overnight, and then think in the morning, do I actually want or need that item? If it is a want, really sit on that purchase for more time. But if it is a need and you think that it will make your life better, then shop around for the best deals. Also, by being more grateful with the things that you have and also the people that you have in your life, can really stop you from buying the things that you don't need as well. If you're struggling to get motivated with starting minimalism and starting decluttering in the first place, I highly recommend this video where I go over how to get started with decluttering if you're feeling overwhelmed and just don't know where to start. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.